Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a fantastic Friday before Super Wild Card weekend kicks off. This should be a very, very good weekend of football. We have a game on Saturday night that is going to, in my opinion, to be the antithesis, uh, the identity of Northern football with the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers, where they're saying right now the temperature could feel like 9 degrees with 39 miles per hour winds and
Right now,
massive snowstorms.
where I'm at right now is so cold. Like the cold and the wind is crazy.
That is what they're saying for tomorrow night in Chicago. This game is going to be great. And that's at the start of the game. It's going to feel at 9 degrees. And it's only going to get colder. Only going to get colder and more snow and more wind as the night goes on. And it is going to be glorious. You guys know me. You know I love the elements of football. The old school ice bowl, fog bowl, the blizzard bowl, the mud bowl. I love those games.
Imagine being so cold.
What's up, man?
Oh, that shit.
What's going on, Isaac? I remember when I was in high school, my senior year in high school, I lived in southern Arizona. And when we went to the playoffs, we had to go, our first game in the playoffs, we had to travel all the way to northern Arizona in November to the Hopi Indian Reservation. And when we got there, on our way there, we went through a snowstorm, practiced in it. And when we got up there, the school was up here. There was a hill, then the football field, right? So what's going on, Jason? So as the game went on, the wind kept getting worse and worse, and it would funnel on the field. Now, there was no snow, but we were playing in like 18, 20 degree weather when we were from southern Arizona, right? Where it's 100 degrees in November, right? And we were way up north in Arizona, almost to Utah. Almost to the Utah border or state line. I mean, good morning, city boy. Almost to the Utah state line. And we were not prepared. I mean, we're high school. They're not giving us cold weather gear. They're like, hey, you got sweatshirts? You better bring it, right? And that was one of the most fun games I ever played in. One of the most fun games I ever played in. I mean, there was no snow, no nothing, but we did have like 25 mile an hour winds, and it was, I believe they said it was like 18 to 20 degrees, man. It was awesome. It was awesome. I loved it. Loved it. So to see this game on Saturday night, 9 degrees at kickoff, or feels like 9 degrees at kickoff, 39 mile an hour winds, and a massive snowstorm. I love it. I love it. It represents true Northern football.
What's going on with y'all? I'm Jared. Good morning, brother.
What's up, Jaeger? What's up, Isaac? What's up, Storm Chaser Jay?
What's up? So what'd you think about the U beating Ole Miss last night?
I loved it. I did. I loved it.
I did not see that coming.
Why doesn't the referees call plays at the end of the game? Because that was.
Why don't they call pass interference on Hail Marys? They just don't. It's the same thing in the NFL. They don't do it.
Well, I think it's because it's like they look at it as the rule with pass interference. The ball has to be at least catchable on a Hail Mary. There is no
right.
There's
no guarantee that ball is catchable. Right. There's no guarantee anything with a Hail Mary. That is a play that they let it go, and they let it go both ways, offense and defensive pass interference. So it's not just defense; it's also offensive pass interference. They let go, the shoving and everything. It's just one of those unwritten rules and like I said, it happens in high school, college, and pro. But I saw something very interesting this morning on my Twitter feed that they have a new game of football in Germany. I don't know if you guys seen this. It's called ice football. They play on a hockey rink.
Bro, that's got to be lit.
With shoes, not skates.
That's got to be lit.
I saw that this morning, and I'm like, oh yeah, we need to bring that here to America. Hell yeah, we do that. That would be something fun to watch. But they have a new form of football there, ice rink football, where they use a hockey rink. It kind of looks like old arena football with 7 players. They got pads, hockey helmets, and they're wearing ice shoes.
Let me take a look at that real quick. I want to see that.
Yeah, dude. Like I said, it's in Germany. It's awesome.
Let me take a look at saying good morning to my brother from another.
What's up, D?
Hey, D, was some structure games out last night.
Hey, we got to put Armchair up on that. So Armchair, you know how everybody been talking about some belt to all that BTA. We renaming that. It's called structure because when we was growing up, when you didn't act right, your parents gave you that structure. They gave you that good raising. So now we call it structure. We get some structure when that happens. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Now we've got tonight's game though.
So Miami actually is shocking me, man. Miami and they're on that same run Notre Dame was on last season in the playoffs. And listen, you catch fire at the right time in this tournament, man. That's just how it is. That's how it goes.
Miami defense is good,
man. Real quick, y'all. So I just watched that ice rink football. It has potential. I think they need to fine tune it, but it has potential. But hey, I gotta jump off here, guys. I just want to say good morning, what's up, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.
All right, brother. Have a good day.
All right, brother.
Yeah, I think tonight's game's gonna be interesting too. I really do. I think tonight's game's gonna be interesting, but I'm glad Miami won. I was rooting for them to win last night.
Yeah, me too.
I would absolutely love an Oregon-Miami national championship game.
That would be dope.
Hey, guys. About that game last night. At the end of the game, the defender was holding on to the receiver for 15 yards. I'm surprised that did not get called.
They do not call offensive or defensive pass interference on Hail Marys. They don't do it in high school, they don't do it in college, and they don't do it in pros.
They don't do it.
It wouldn't matter.
That clear, you gotta call.
They don't do it. It's an unwritten rule. It's an unwritten rule because the ball is thrown kind of like a punt, right? The ball isn't to one specific receiver. And it's more of a punt than a pass. And on top of that, both sides, I get it, I watched it, I saw the play, I know what everybody's talking about. But when you look at every Hail Mary that's ever happened, ever since the Hail Mary was invented, there's offensive and defensive pass interference on every single play of a Hail Mary. There's pushing, there's shoving, there's grabbing, there's pulling. It's just an unwritten rule that they don't call it. They don't call it.
I don't think it would have mattered anyway because they don't get the ball on the 1 yard line. If they do call it, they would have had to throw it.
It's only 15 yards.
Yeah, in college it's only 15. Which I would love that rule to come to the NFL. I would 100% love that rule to come to the NFL.
Because you know how many NFL games I've watched where teams got screwed over because of penalty?
Oh yeah, pick a game. Hold on, pick a game in 2025, and tell me which one did not have 1 to 2 or 3 or 5 bad calls. You can't. There's not a single game this year, not a single one that you can say, oh, that game was absolutely called great. There isn't.
Why they won't do that? Why they won't do that in the NFL is simple because then you would just get past it because any team would give up 15 yards.
Exactly. Hey, Krager, what's going on? I'll tell you the one rule I want them to change is defensive holding an automatic first down. I don't like that rule. I don't care if it's 5 yards. I just don't like that it's an automatic first down.
Automatic.
And here's the reason. This is the reason why I have a problem with the defensive pass interference being a spot foul. That is the only penalty in the NFL that can gain you 50 plus yards.
Yep.
And that is such, and we see it in the NFL. This is why I think it needs to be a 15-yarder. Because we see the disparity and we see the judgmental calls on each kind of official of what is and what isn't defensive pass interference. Because defensive pass interference is such a judgmental call. And it being such a judgmental call, you can in one game see it, and in the next game have the same exact play happen, and they don't call it. And it's a game-defining penalty. And now with the rules, right? The rules, the quarterback knows that if he purposely throws that ball short and the receiver looks like he's going for it, they're going to get the flag. That yellow's coming out. So, say for instance, you're, marching down the field for a game-winning field goal, and your guy is like covered. You purposely throw that ball short. Not too short, but short enough to where that receiver looks like he has to go back for it through the defender. We all know our little buddy right here is coming out. Every single one of us knows that. As soon as that wide receiver and that quarterback, gives that little wink and a nod thing, and he throws it up purposely short, and that receiver turns around to go through that defender to get it, that's exactly what's going to come out. It's going to be a spot foul. It's an untimed down. If there's zeros on the clock, guess what? As an offense, you get an untimed play. You're in field goal range, and right now in field goal range, you got to be at the 50-yard line. Kick the field goal, game's over, you won.
I'm gonna say something to you, Armchair. Everything you said is right, except for this one thing. That flag is not my little buddy. I don't want you to ever call it that again. I think that you got to check yourself when you are making these announcements.
Okay, I'm sorry. I should have said the MVP of the NFL will come out. Everybody's talking about Drake May needs to be the MVP, Matthew Stafford. Here's our MVP right here. Here's the GOAT right here. This is the GOAT. This is the MVP of the NFL in the 2025 NFL season. Because they know how to manipulate the rule.
Hey, Dick.
And by putting the defense at such a disadvantage, where the manipulation in itself is not a penalty, making it a spot foul over a 15-yard penalty. Now, I've been fighting this battle for about 15 years of sending out emails and messages to the NFL and stuff like that, saying that it needs to be a 15-yard penalty over a spot foul. Because of how especially nowadays, and we see it more and more, and we saw it this year, and you even hear commentators say it. Oh, well, if the ball's thrown short and that receiver, tries to go through that defender, that flag's coming out. So they know how to manipulate it. We can't make this league, because this is where we're going to, and it worries me. We cannot turn this league into where you cannot play defense. And that's what we're doing. Have you noticed a lot of teams who started the year playing press man or man coverage have gone to zones at the end of the year? And the reason why is more of these are coming out on man coverage for defensive pass interference, illegal contact, or defensive holding. So you're handcuffing your defense. I remember growing up in the 80s and the early 90s that, the defense dominated football. But then I was also there in the early 2000s where the NFL started shifting into offense, yards, points, to sell. You're absolutely right, Jason. That's why Denver, all right, everybody wants to say Denver, their defense declined after the bye week. And I'm going to agree with you. The defense did decline. And I'll explain why. Pre the bye week, we were playing a ton of man coverage. A ton of man coverage. Press man, 2 deep safety man, cover 2, cover 1. You know, we threw a little bit of cover 3 in there, but we were in man. But then they looked at how many times we were getting called for defensive pass interference, how many times we were getting called for illegal contact, and other teams. And Vance Joseph shifted to more of a zone. And you see it with every other team in the NFL. They're noticing that their cornerbacks, especially in the nickel, right? Because you got 5 cornerbacks on the field. They're getting this thrown at them for press man, especially across the middle, right? Because that defender knows, or I'm sorry, that wide receiver knows. You go across that middle, and that dude barely touches you after 5 yards. There goes the flag, automatic first down.
Can I say this though?
You've got to be my counterpart, brother. Go right ahead.
I'm gonna tell you, man coverage is harder to play than zone. The thing about zone though, guys get lost because they get heroes. They don't want to do this in basic time.
Yeah, and they don't know who to pick up on like crossing routes and shit.
Exactly, because in a zone, you're in a specific area, right? I am 100% against zone defense. I can't stand it. I prefer, when I ran a defense, when I was a defensive coordinator, and I'm sorry for stepping on anybody, and I'll let you talk in just a minute. When I was a defensive coordinator, I prefer to play cover 2 man under or cover 2 robber man. That's what I prefer to play. Kind of like the old style Tampa 2. But I like to play the cover 2 man under or a cover 2 robber man under. Those are the defenses that I like to play, because dropping that robber down and shifting a cover 2 to a cover 1 with a robber, that takes away the middle of the field and is also your safety net for mobile quarterbacks. But that's what I like.
Yeah.
But go ahead, guys.
I also, I'm gonna tell you something about zone coverage. Zone coverage is you know what it says? It says I don't trust my corners. It always
Yeah, I
says
was just about to say that.
I agree with you, D. I agree. I am not a big fan of zone coverage, because you have quarterbacks that are like Matthew Stafford or Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. They know how to tear a zone coverage apart.
Just get in that little spot.
But again, we've seen throughout 2025 that as the year went on and all of these little guys kept coming out because of illegal contact, defensive holding, or pass interference, then the defensive coordinators had to be like, great, we're going to have to go to a zone. Not that I don't trust my corners, but I fear this more than a 10-yarder, right? Good morning, David Dev. Do I think the Patriots can beat the Chargers? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I love Justin Herbert. Don't get me wrong. I have been a huge supporter of him. I have not deterred from that all year long. I have not done it, and I will not do it. I am one of those guys that want to see Herbert thrive because of the talent that he has. But that offensive line is so bad. It's so bad. And the Patriots, you know, they really don't blitz that much. But you got Mike Vrabel as your head coach. Mike Vrabel knows how to go after an offensive line that's really beat up. So I got to give the edge to the Patriots. I really do. And it's not because I'm a Broncos fan. Again, I am a huge Justin Herbert fan. I said going into the year, preseason, that my feeling was, and I said this, and if you were here when I said this, you'll remember, if the Chargers stayed healthy, they were winning the AFC West. But when you go in the season and you lose your left tackle, you don't get your starting running back, and then you get him, and then he gets hurt. Your backup running back gets hurt. Your other tackle gets hurt. Your guard gets hurt. Your defensive players start getting hurt. Your wide receiver starts getting hurt. Your quarterback goes down and has to have surgery to put a plate or a rod in his hand. It is so hard to continue winning. And I give props, and Dean knows this, I give props to the 49ers for what they are doing with that mash unit. I give props to the Chargers for what they're doing. But we are now in playoff football, and I don't know if it can hold up. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what, your coaching is going to be on display this weekend. Coaching is going to be on display.
100%.
That's why a lot of coaches are waiting to see where to go.
Man, I wish they gave us more than 8 boxes to bring people up.
Hey, speaking of playoff football last night, D, I told you this in your chat yesterday as we're going off or whatever, that Carson Beck would lead Miami to that win last night.
You did say that. You did. I'll give you that.
He used to be able to bring 12 up.
Hey, but
What's up, Mark?
Did you see what I was saying, Chris, about that kid from Ole Miss? He's for real.
That quarterback?
Yeah.
Hey, I
For
didn't
the
say,
dad.
hey, I didn't say that he wasn't the real deal.
I know
Like,
that.
The
I know you didn't say
problem,
that.
hey, the difference in that Miami game.
I'm
was
doing all right, Mark. Thank you for
Ole Miss
asking.
couldn't convert on third down last night.
I thought it was a very enjoyable game. Both teams brought it. Both teams brought it, but that kid, both quarterbacks, my hat is off. Both teams, my hat was off to them the way they played last night. And I had to watch it on replay because I was my girl drugged me to a dance class, so I was at a dance.
Oh, I love that. I love how he said she drug him. She drug him, kicking and screaming the whole way.
So,
Oh,
D,
man,
you were out there
hey.
two-stepping, D?
Yeah, I was. Let me tell you something.
He was the first one in the car. He know you
No. I know exactly what D was doing. He had his phone in his pocket, and he had his little earbud in his ear while he was dancing that two-step listening to the game.
No, honestly, I'm gonna keep it real. Is schools had ended up calling me or texting me. I was like, man, are you watching this? And I was like, nah, man, I'm not even at home. And so I had recorded it. I had it recorded on my DVR. And so when I got home, I watched it, or I caught some, I watched it when I got home. But man, like I said, my hat's off to just to both teams.
I've been all right, Mark. How you been, brother?
I wasn't even going to watch this playoff because I was pissed off at how they did Notre Dame. I was going to boycott it, but yeah, it turned out to be pretty good.
Armchair, were you surprised that Cardinals let go of Jonathan Gannon or what?
Yes, I was upset about that, Raymond. I really was. And let me give my reasoning. Jonathan Gannon was brought in with the idea that he could turn around, not the Cardinals, but Kyler Murray. That was the idea of the hiring with Jonathan Gannon. That not necessarily turn around the Cardinals, hey mamas, but to turn around Kyler Murray and make him a franchise NFL quarterback. And I'm sorry, I don't think there's a head coach. I don't even think Sean McVay, who I absolutely love, could turn around Kyler Murray. When a player doesn't want to do what a player wants to do, there isn't enough coaching in the world to make them do it. As my dad said when I was growing up as a kid, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
You make them drink. Nope.
There isn't a coach out there that can turn Kyler Murray into a franchise quarterback unless Kyler Murray wants to put the work in to be a franchise quarterback.
You want to play Xbox.
And so I think Jonathan Gannon was the scapegoat.
I think he wanted out.
I think he wanted out too. You could tell this year, watching Gannon, you could tell that he was tired of Todd Bidwell. And that is another problem in Arizona, is their owner. Todd Bidwell is trying to do everything he can to be a baby Jerry Jones. He is.
Why would you want to do that?
I guess he idolizes him. I don't know. But you see how Jerry Jones has held on to Dak? Look, right? Jerry Jones has held on to Dak Prescott. Now, I like Dak Prescott, don't get me wrong, but I don't think Dak Prescott is winning you a Super Bowl. But Jerry Jones has held on to him. Jerry Jones gave him a big deal. Todd Bidwell has held on to Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray ain't winning you a Super Bowl. But he's held on to Kyler Murray and he gave him a big contract that financially hurts your team.
Maybe if you took it serious,
And now you're in, and again, my wife is a diehard Cardinals fan, right? She's a diehard Cardinals fan. And I've been going through these so-called coaching candidates. And I've been going through, these up-and-coming offensive coordinators, quarterback coaches. And I can tell you this right now. The number one, Hunter asked me the other day when we got off of live, he asked me to do something the other day, and I'm going to do it after the Super Bowl. He wants me to make a video of me as the general manager of all 32 teams. So one video per team. He wants me to do a 32-part series of what I would do for that team if I was the general manager. And I can tell you this right now, as an Arizona Cardinals general manager, first thing I do is I tell Todd Bidwell to keep his ass in his damn owner box and let me run this team. Second thing I do, Kyler Murray's gone. Kyler Murray's gone.
I would like you to let me be the general manager of the NFC West, if you don't mind.
No, because you're going to do everything you can to make the 49ers be the most dominant.
No, I promise you. I promise you. And I'll tell you what, first thing I would do. The first thing I would do with the Cardinals is I would hire me a general manager that told my owners, let me do my job. That's what I would do. Because you need that. Because if that's the case on what you're saying, as to what their problem is, that means you need one of those stand-up, and I would bring in, and here's where you don't watch this name, I'm going to tell you to be a general manager. I would go tell Bill Belichick, you're not a coach anymore, but to come general manage this team in Arizona, and let him put his stamp of general management on that team.
I agree with that. Because I keep reading that Bill Belichick could be coming back into the NFL as a head coach. I think he needs to be a GM.
And that team needs structure. I know what you mean. That team needs structure, dude. And they need somebody that's a little bit of a drill sergeant.
Ole Miss got structure last night.
BGM and Detroit Lions get defensive and offensive line. Well, like I said, after the Super Bowl, I'm going to do a 32-part series of each team. If I was a general manager, I'm looking for a giant whiteboard because I want to redo my room and have a whiteboard so I can write, put a whole bunch of stuff on there.
Staples, brother. Staples.
Staples? Okay. Then I have to go to Staples because I want to put a giant whiteboard up, especially when it comes to free agency, who's the free agents, our cap space, and all that. And Matthew, thank you for the follow. I greatly appreciate that. But
Are Staples still even open?
Yeah, they're open. If I were the Cardinals, okay, I've got the number 3 overall pick in the NFL draft.
Mm-hmm.
There really isn't a quarterback at the number 3 spot. And you're like, wait a minute, number 3? Yeah. There really isn't a quarterback you can take at the number 3 spot that isn't going to feel like a jump, like you overdrafted him.
It's a reach.
At the number 3 spot. There isn't. There's only, in my opinion, 2 quarterbacks, and I'm not really sold on them either. So if you're in the 3rd spot, you're in the 3rd spot. In my opinion, Tyler Simpson is not a first-round quarterback. Carson Beck is not a first-round quarterback.
One of the scouts gave Mendoza a 4th-round grade.
Exactly, but he's going to go number 1 because he won the Heisman and because of how good Indiana's doing.
Carson Beck might not be a first-round pick in a lot of people, like a lot of fans' eyes, but I think strictly because of what he has been able to do in the playoff, his draft stock is going to move up to at least a mid to late first round pick.
Right. Okay. But see, this is where I have a problem with people like Mel Kiper Jr. This is where I have a problem with people like Mel Kiper Jr. They take what you just said and shoot these kids up. But I can't look at a 3-game stretch. I can't look at, what he did against Ole Miss.
Because he played in the playoffs.
I've got to do his entire career as a scout.
He didn't go high at all.
I've got to, his height, his arm strength, his health, everything I've got to put on the table. That's one of the problems I have with Mel Kiper Jr. And I really do. He likes the flashy.
His hair is my problem.
Is Mel Kiper Jr.? Absolutely.
His hair is my problem.
Oh, that's everybody's problem with him. And I'm not saying Carson Beck is a bad quarterback. I'm not saying that at all. But I can tell you this right now. If I were to draft Carson Beck at the number 3 overall pick in the NFL draft, I'm telling everybody in my fan base that that's our guy going into week 1. That's our guy. That's our starter. Now, as a general manager and a head coach, how old is Carson Beck? Let me pull that up for you real quick. We've got to, sit around and decide, okay, what can we build around him? Carson.
I'm on a mock draft website and they're saying that Ruben Benjamin was going to go number 1.
Armchair.
Yes, sir. I'm listening.
Mendoza's not going to save the Raiders organization because I know they're going to draft him first overall pick.
Carson Beck is 23 years old. He's 23.
Here's the thing, and this goes back to my point I made yesterday about.
You ain't made no point yesterday.
About throwing a quarterback into the fire. The Cardinals are set up into a point right now. They have the best tight end in football. They have a very good number 2 wide receiver in Michael Wilson. James Conner and Trey Benson are coming back. And Marvin Harrison just needs a quarterback that can throw to him. Like, if you were to draft a quarterback, maybe not at 3, but draft one in the 2nd round and then roll with it like a Carson Beck, I think you might be more successful than anything, and then take a tackle at 3. I have them taking Spencer Fano out of Utah.
Right now, according to CBS, they have them taking David Bailey, edge rusher out of Texas Tech.
They don't have
Yeah, because he tore it up. He tore it up in the playoffs. He got all kind of pressure. He did not.
Number 6. They got him picked at number 6 or 3.
3.
Hold on, let me see how much cap space they're going to have next year. The Cardinals are only going to have $44 million again, unless they cut Kyler Murray, because he takes up 17.5% of their cap space.
What does it look like? Like, if they were to trade Kyler, what would a package look like? A 3rd round, 4th round pick, something like that?
You're going to be lucky to get a 4th rounder for him. You're going to be lucky to get a 4th rounder.
Hey, I'm not going to lie to you. There's going to be one of these quarterback-needy teams that's going to overpay for him if they put him on the block.
So, okay, let's think about that. I like that, Chris. So, we got the Jets. They're going to be a quarterback-needy team. Are we going to throw the Vikings in there? Let's be serious here. Are we going to talk about throwing the Vikings in there?
No.
Okay, so let's...
This is kind of a hot take. I would consider the Lions. I don't like golf.
Well, a lot of people don't, but let me look at his contract. Hold on, before we say that.
Well, Jared Goff just signed an extension last year, didn't he? Didn't he get like...
Jared Goff is due $69.6 million next year.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they're definitely not trading. They're definitely not trading for a quarterback.
He has 3 years left on his deal.
Hey, so I saw a hot take this morning that said, they're talking about draft stuff already, that the Raiders take more over Mendoza.
I've seen that as well.
That would be a Raider thing to do.
I don't foresee them. I get it. I get
And
it.
the reason they say that is they said that Moore has a higher ceiling than Mendoza does.
Well, hold on. Let me look at my grades real quick. I've got this draft app that I use, and according to this, they have Moore at an 89.6 rating and Mendoza at an 89.5. They have Simpson at an 89, Nussmeier at an 85.8, Mater out of Oklahoma, 84.9. Carson Beck, 84.8. Klubnik, 84.6.
John Mateer?
Klubnik's alright.
Mateer's not coming out, is he?
Klubnik, I think he is.
I don't think Mateer's going to pro.
Mateer's coming out.
He is.
So it's projected that the Cardinals are going to be trading the number 3 pick and trading in the back half of the first round and getting Ty Simpson now. That's what they're predicting.
Yeah, I saw that as well, that Ty Simpson is tied to the Cardinals. And again, I'm an Alabama fan. I don't trust Alabama quarterbacks. And I'm sorry, I thought Ty Simpson needed to stay another year.
Who have been the last 4 Bama quarterbacks that have come out?
I was here. I'm not a big fan of Bryce Young. I'm not. I don't think I can build a franchise around him. Mac Jones is another one. Who was that one that led them to their first couple national championships that's now in the UFL?
Tua Tagovailoa.
Yep, there's Tua.
Jalen Milroe.
What's his name?
AJ something? McQuay?
Greg something?
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, but Jalen Hurts went to Oklahoma before he came into the draft. You got to remember that. Jalen Hurts left Alabama.
Okay, that's his name, Greg McElroy.
McElroy, thank you. And so, everybody does that. Everybody says, well, what about Jalen Hurts? Well, he left. And I can't trust Alabama quarterbacks because number one, I don't trust our head coach. Number two, we're talking about quarterbacks that played under the old regime of Alabama, right? The Nick Saban Alabama, who was old school power football. Nick Saban did not like mobile quarterbacks. Nick Saban did not like option quarterbacks at all. That's locked, sealed, and delivered. He didn't like them. And so, why do you think Jalen Hurts left and went to Oklahoma? Not only because of what happened in the national championship, but if you want to say Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl, but look what Jalen Hurts is doing now. Do you literally trust Jalen Hurts in the playoffs this year?
No.
Do you trust Bryce Young in the playoffs this year?
Only because he beat the team he's playing already. So, kind of, but not really.
I'm not saying that they can't be good. I'm just saying I don't trust them. I'm watching that game between the Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the division in Week 18. There were multiple opportunities for Bryce Young, who everybody says is a mobile quarterback, to run and get yardage for first downs, but he refuses to do it. He refuses to do it.
And you cannot even trust Georgia quarterback.
Why? You can't trust Matthew Stafford?
I'm meaning Georgia after
Morning, Martin.
2010.
Good morning, bro.
Quarterbacks from Georgia. I guess.
Okay, so this is what I've been trying to tell people, especially my dad. My dad is old school, right? 1960 football. That's my dad. And I've been trying, and as I tell him to mess with him, I'm like, I'm trying to learn you up, Dad. I'm trying to educate you on how football is changing. It starts in high school, goes to college, and goes to pro. And I watched this interesting take by Mark Schlereth. Y'all know I love Mark Schlereth.
Stank.
Absolutely love him. I've been trying to get a hold of him to come on here. And he even came out and said that quarterbacks from this age could not play in the age of John Elway, could not play in the age of Dan Marino. They could not play in the age of Troy Aikman. You just couldn't do it.
They're fragile.
And so that is the evolution of where football has turned into because of high school, college, and now pro. So when you look at these quarterbacks, first you got to see how they played in college, right? That is the big deal. And you've got to hope that you could take that game and turn it over. Everybody wants to say RG3 was such a bad quarterback. No, RG3 was a fantastic quarterback. RG3 was a generational talent that went to a team who had an old school, horrible head coach in Mike Shanahan. RG3 out of the NFL was 100% Shanahan's fault. 100%. Because he went to him and said, I love what you did. Now you're going to do what I tell you to do. And at no time during RG3's career in the NFL did Shanahan change the way he coached, the way he orchestrated a team to better suit RG3's talent.
That's got to weigh on the front office a little bit too when it comes to team building.
But you're going up but here's the deal. You have scouts in the NFL. You have directors of player personnel. You have general managers and you have head coaches. They all sit and watch game film of these kids, not only in college, but in high school. You can't tell me as a head coach, you see this kid, you see his raw ability, his athletic ability, and you trade up in the draft, right? Because Washington traded up to get him. And then you bring him in and go, everything you did, everything that brought you here, I don't want you to do. I want you to do this.
Well, I gotta say this though, Armchair. I disagree with you slightly on that, and it goes to this. As a coach, Shanahan, the thing with Shanahan, he didn't take all of the stuff away. He was trying to fix some mechanic thing with RG3, and there is some flaws with kids that come out of college because, and the number one flaw with quarterbacks that come out of college is they don't throw their receivers open. They wait till their receivers are wide open to release the ball. And that's one thing in the pros that you have to fix. You have to throw your receiver open sometimes. You have to anticipate the throw most of the times. And I think that with RG3, I think number one, RG3 medically should have been looked at before he got in the pros, and he wasn't. He wasn't looked at properly medically. And I'm going to say that, and I'll stand on that.
I'll agree, 100%.
And I also think this. I think that when you get to the pros is the pro. Playing pro quarterback than most people playing because it's just different.
So, this is I don't remember. I don't remember much of the teams back when RG3 was a rookie, but that's a lot of my philosophy when I say that teams shouldn't take a quarterback if you have so many more needs on your team, especially offensive line.
Yes, I think Herbert is a very tough quarterback, Doobie. But also on that side, Herbert could be the toughest quarterback, but as an organization, you have to protect him from himself. You have to protect your franchise from himself. Wait
a minute. Herbert is tough in today's NFL. Herbert couldn't have took the hits from Lawrence Taylor, Too Tall Jones.
No. He's just asking if I think Herbert is tough for playing.
No, I know he asked you that, but yeah, before he asked you that, he had said Herbert could have played back in that decade.
No, not at all. No, he couldn't have.
He would have been more of a choker than he already is.
No, a lot of these quarterbacks, I'm probably going to say every quarterback in the NFL right now could not have played back in the 90s. They didn't have the protection. You got to remember, it wasn't until in week 1 when the Kansas City Chiefs tackled Tom Brady below the knees and tore his ACL, that they invented the rule that you cannot tackle quarterbacks below the knees. You could hit a quarterback below the knees until Tom Brady got hit below the knee and tore his ACL and was out the entire year in week 1 against the Kansas City Chiefs.
You can hit a quarterback anywhere.
You used to be able to freaking clothesline a quarterback. You used to be able to nail him in the head. Now you can't even touch him. And every time you do, and this is another thing, every time you do, what does every quarterback do? They get up, turn around, and go like this to the ref. Every single time.
So what you're saying is that they're the LeBron Jameses of football. They're floppers.
Yes. Quarterbacks in today's league know that they are the precious gem of the league and that they are super protected.
I think Stafford would still be able to compete back then. I think I've seen enough. And I mean, he's taken nasty hits from a lot of people since
Man,
2000.
come on, Dad. Come on, Dad.
Hey, that's also like the hip drop tackles that they're trying to ban from the NFL. It has ended a lot of. That's what ended Bo Jackson's career. And
Yep.
Chris Holmes' career.
Yep. Why do you think they're also changing the fields? Right? Back then, they didn't give a crap about the field. You used to play on a piece of carpet in Three River Stadium in Detroit. It was a freaking piece of carpet on concrete. Right? They didn't care what they guys played on. Now you're getting these new rules that have to be implemented by 2027 with all 30 stadiums.
I'm going to say this. I agree with that because, number one, the reason why I agree with them doing that with the fields is because we love to see our favorite players on the fields. And if these fields are taken out of the way, that's just ridiculous. That goes to owners being cheap. Because you can get, every owner should take pride in getting their stadium up to par.
I agree, D. It is sad that the NFL had to make it a rule. It's sad that the NFL had to come out and go, hey, here's a new rule. You don't go by it, you're getting fined.
Nobody takes better care of their field than Denver does, though.
You're 100% correct. The Broncos change their field 2 to 3 times a year. And I'm pretty sure they're going to have it fixed up by next weekend as well. And I think they're the ones behind this push.
Denver sucks.
Agreed.
Brock Purdy is going to be Jamarcus Russell 2.0.
Oh, no. Hey. Now that hurts me. Hold on. That hurts me. Because I am a huge Brock Purdy fan. I was one of the guys in his rookie year when he made it to the NFC Championship that I was willing to give him my elbow for him to be the first rookie quarterback to get into the Super Bowl.
Armchair, hey, Dad, Brock Purdy already broke that myth with his first pass in the league.
I mean.
But no, I was a big... I was so heavy on Brock Purdy and that he was going to be good. I bought so many $200 rookie trading cards of Brock Purdy and invested in his ass just because I thought he was going to be good.
I know you was playing, but I got to correct somebody. Purdy is in a good system. So name me the quarterback that's winning that ain't in a good system.
Yeah, I agree with it. I agree, man. Every quarterback. This is the deal. That is why I call a system quarterback a dirty slang.
Do we count? The Falcons won 4 out of their last 6.
I've seen it, Doobie. And again, Doobie, I'm not disagreeing that Herbert is not tough. What I'm trying to say is that organization is got to start protecting their franchise, which Herbert is. Herbert is the franchise of the Chargers. If Herbert goes down, let's look at it this way. Let's look at it this way real quick. And I'm going to ask everybody on the panel one at a time. It's a simple yes or no question. If Herbert gets hurt in the first quarter against the Patriots and Trey Lance has to come in, David, do the Chargers win? Yes or no?
No, I don't know.
I am Blake. Do the Chargers win? Yes or no?
No.
Chris, do the Chargers win? Yes or no?
Chargers win, yes or no?
No.
Jaeger, do the Chargers win? Yes or no?
Even if they had Herbert now.
Denver Dad, do the Chargers win? Yes or no?
Just because I hate Patriots fans, I want to say yes, but no.
Raven, do the Chargers win? Yes or no?
No.
D, do the Chargers win? Yes or no?
Emphatic yes. The Chargers are the more dominant team. They played the harder schedule. The Chargers are just hands down better than the New England fraudulent.
And guess what?
Oh, God, D had to do it. D had to do it. All right, all videos, yes or no?
I would say yes, but like a very close thing. I didn't make it's probably gonna be a 50-50 game.
No, brother. The question is, if Herbert gets hurt in the first quarter and Trey Lance has to come in, do the Chargers win? Yes or no?
How no?
There you go.
I mean, Harbaugh might go suit up real quick.
I know, right? Harbaugh's like, screw this shit. I practice during the pregame. I warm up. Put my ass out there, coach.
Hey, who was that got mad at me for talking about the Patriots like I was serious?
I know, right?
Who was that?
Jagger.
That was Jaeger. What's up, Matt? Football Talk.
You should know better than that.
I love Harbaugh. Matt Football Talk, thank you for the follow. I greatly appreciate that. Brother, hit me up in a DM if you ever want to do a live together. What's up, Fallen Lizard? I love Harbaugh. I do. Jim Harbaugh, he is a player's coach that knows how to run an offense. It's okay. It's like Dan Campbell with Detroit. I love Dan Campbell. I do. I love everything about Dan Campbell and what he represents up in Detroit. He's a player's coach. He's a guy that you would run a brick wall through. Or run through a brick wall for.
Sounds like Antonio Pierce.
But he doesn't have the right offensive coordinator. And he can't run a football team like that. He can't run an offense.
Antonio Pierce ruined the
But
Raiders.
I love Dan Campbell. I love Jim Harbaugh. I love John Harbaugh. I'll tell you this. For my wife's sake, we need to put the good vibes in the universe that the Arizona Cardinals hire John Harbaugh as their next head coach.
I don't think he would even go there. Only
Thank you,
if they
DB.
get rid of Kyler Murray.
I'm saying we got to put the good vibes out in the universe. We got to get the good mojo flowing. That we got to will it to happen. We're not too old for this shit kind of deal, bringing Harbaugh into Arizona.
Hey, Armchair, real quick. If the Raiders draft more from Oregon, can we just call the AFC Ducks? Because there'll be 3 starting to Oregon Ducks in that division.
Absolutely, we can. Bryce, I think that's where he's going to. But I got to give my wife hope for the 2026 season, right? I've got to get her, enthusiastic like we could go into this year and we could beat the 49ers. We could beat the Seattle Seahawks. We could beat the Los Angeles Rams. Specifically so she can, make fun of Hunter, her son-in-law. You got to remember, she's a Cardinals fan and our son-in-law is a Seahawks fan.
I hope he goes to the AFC South and the
Wait, you
Titans
know
just to
the
make
7
Bryce's
teams
life
called
hell.
John Harbaugh? You know the 7 teams or no?
The Titans do need a in. They have Cam Ward, he would be nice.
Every one of them that had a vacancy, including Miami, called John Harbaugh.
Everybody has. And I think Harbaugh's waiting till Monday. What's up, Matt Football Talk? I think Harbaugh's waiting till Monday or possibly Tuesday. Because I read something interesting last night. Now, I doubt he'll go to Pittsburgh, but they said that if Pittsburgh is one and done. What's up, Taylor? If Pittsburgh's one and done, Steelers might walk away from Tomlin. But the team I'm looking at is right up there playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. If they are one and done, and Harbaugh is out there, there's got to be internal talks of Sean McDermott gone and the Buffalo Bills owner going, Harbaugh, write your own check. What do you want? Because could you imagine John Harbaugh with Josh Allen?
Give me 17.
That would be nuts.
And you're going into a brand new stadium. You got to remember that too. You're opening a brand new $2.some-odd billion stadium next year. You're going to want that entire thing sold out all year long. And you're going to want to put good football on that field.
And
I mean, but if you're gonna put good football on the field, you got to start with putting good players on the field.
Exactly. And the guy you bring in is John Harbaugh. Because think about this. Think about this, though. Just follow my logic here. Follow my logic. You bring in Harbaugh. I'm going to go with Matt Football Talk right here. Harbaugh is your head coach. Mike McDaniel as your offensive coordinator. And you know Harbaugh's going to go get him some wide receivers. Because what position did Harbaugh play in the NFL? Anybody remember? Play quarterback. They both play quarterback. Both Harbaughs play quarterback.
He had that crazy throw to what's his face against the Packers in the playoffs one year. That was Wendell something.
Margaret. Oh my gosh. How do I answer this question for you? What about my Eagles? How do we get rid of Kevin? How do we get rid of Kevin Stefanski?
Take him to the Great Sand Dunes and drop him off blindfolded so he doesn't know where he's at.
It's, I mean, he did just win you a Super Bowl. Now, we can go, was it really him or was it Kellen Moore? We can have that, or Patullo. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, Kevin Patullo, your offensive coordinator. How do you get rid of Kevin Patullo, your OC? The only way I think this happens, is you're one and done. You're one and done.
That's what it is.
If y'all win a playoff game,
Yeah, if y'all beat the 49ers, he ain't going anywhere.
The league is on this side.
But honestly, if I'm Howie and everybody in that front office, I'm getting rid of Sirianni. I'm getting rid of Patullo.
Well, but how can we get rid of Sirianni?
Just follow my lead here. And I'm bringing in Kevin Stefanski to run that whole offense as the head coach.
Have a good day.
But you're going to get rid of a head coach that just won you a Super Bowl last year. That's right, Richie.
Coach? Just because they have a Super Bowl ring, is he a good coach, though? Because we know he can't. We know he can't dial up the X's and O's. He said it himself. He's just there to be that gritty asshole on the sideline.
But is Stefanski better, right? I love Kevin Stefanski, but I would rather see Kevin Stefanski as an offensive coordinator than a head coach. So that's what I'm thinking. You're one and done. You keep your head coach, but you bring in Stefanski as your OC, and you can do the same thing. You could do the exact same thing with him as your OC. Go, hey, you got full control of the offense, and let's do it that way.
He did win Coach of the Year twice. I mean, I think Stefanski will be a good fit over there.
I think like Stefanski, we all know that he was done with Cleveland, and we know Cleveland was done with him. They were both doing anything in their power to get him out of there, and if he goes to a situation like the Eagles to run the whole ship, right? That is 10 times better weapons than he has ever had in Cleveland. And it would work out. And Howie knows how to actually build a team, unlike Andrew Berry and company.
Jordan, my two top picks for the Denver Broncos to play next weekend in Denver is either the Buffalo Bills or the Houston Texans.
Yo, Armchair, I got a question.
Oh, what's up, Jaeger? Jaeger!
Why do you have the Packers beating the Bears?
The reason why I have the Packers beating the Bears, I am so glad you asked that question, Jaeger. So glad. They almost beat the Bears the last time a couple weeks ago in Chicago without Jordan Love, by the way. And they only lost because their defense led up, which every team does at the end of the game, and it irks the crap out of me. And because of a failed onside kick recovery. The Packers played great. And you got to remember, Josh Jacobs was banged up in that game as well. Jordan Love was out from the middle of the second quarter all the way through overtime. So I'm looking at it. I got Jordan Love back. I got a fresh Josh Jacobs back. We're going into this game. We're both used to the cold weather. We're both used to the snow. The wind is going to be a major factor in this game. Major factor. And I got to trust the quarterback with more experience. I got to trust the head coach with more experience. And I got to trust the running back with more experience. Especially in this kind of game. Where they're just saying it is going to be a massive snowstorm. 39 mile an hour plus winds. At kickoff, it's going to feel 9 degrees, and it's only going to get colder as the game goes on. How do you win in games like that? You run the ball. And in my opinion,
Jacobs is better than both Swift and Mongai.
I'm going with I'm sorry, I've got to go with Jacobs. I got to. I don't care if the Chargers come in, my brother. Let me see if I can follow you right here, brother. Yep, I gave you a follow. There you go. I don't have that much more room to follow people. I think I only got like 40 or 50 spaces left. Probably not even that.
I swear I thought Malik Willis was gonna play. He's like throwing low because he's still hurt, but.
Like I said, this game, I'm super excited to watch this game. I am 100% excited to watch this game.
Hey, Armchair.
Yes, sir.
In the off season, anything that I can see the Broncos go get, this is just me thinking. I think we should get Tyler Lindenbaum from the Ravens.
They would not give him up at all. Like
He's a free agent. He's expected to be a free agent this season, so.
Everybody's expected to be a free agent until people start re-signing players.
I got the weather report from the NFL itself. And they're saying at game and also even here on ESPN, it is saying snow.
Oh, snow game?
Yes.
Oh man, I love snow games.
You think it's gonna be a high scoring game? Or
No.
You think it's gonna be like a defensive game.
It's gonna be a run game.
Hey, so I don't know how the weather here affects the weather in how it's gonna affect the Panther game tomorrow, but here in Carolina, it's supposed to be. It's raining right now, and it's supposed to be severe thunderstorms later this afternoon. And like I said, if it's raining, storming here, it's probably storming in Charlotte. So I don't know how that's going to affect the game or the field for tomorrow.
You know, let me pull up.
Morning where I live,
Let me pull up the Weather Channel real quick. I should have had that up already. Let me pull this up. I got Carolina as my dark horse. Yeah, Maple Leafs in Pennsylvania, some rain.
Yeah, I mean.
All right, here we go. Let's look at
Make an
this.
upset, but I think they're gonna get BTA.
Who?
The Panthers.
Let's see here. Let's
The
go
Rams will get
radar.
Devontae Adams back.
So the first time the Panthers beat the Rams, they had Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. So like
They didn't have Devontae.
the first time when they beat them, they did.
No, they didn't have Devontae.
Yeah, I was about to say they didn't have Devontae when they beat them.
What's that?
I'm not saying that as an excuse. They lost, but
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, okay. So I was in a live yesterday, and there was Miami Dolphins fans talking their mess on McDaniels, and their reasoning for them wanting McDaniels gone is because he didn't act like a man. How he dressed, how he held himself. What are your thoughts on that take?
Well, a lot of it you have to realize, and it actually came out as true. He was spending a lot more time in his office and at the facility. He would go days without showering. He would smell so bad. Like,
Hey, yo.
I got a funny video about him too.
But what is that going to do with anything?
personal
Isn't a
hygiene is a
coach,
big
all it
thing.
is just, well, no, I know, but isn't a coach all it is just leadership and your mental capacity?
If you smell like shit, I don't want you near me.
Well, these guys were blaming Mike McDaniels for their players' failures of dropping balls, missing tackles, and I was like, You know they can only practice 3 days a week, and then it's up to them to make themselves better, right?
What's stuck more,
And they
Tua all
would
season or
not do
McDaniels
it.
after week 5?
But they said the reason
Guys,
the Dolphins lost is because their coach was a thin-bot sissy boy.
Guys, let's just
was like,
think
what?
what it is. They fired him because they're probably going to bring Harbaugh in. And like I said, I told you this yesterday. I'm not sure it's going to be, but I would not be surprised if Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson end up in Miami in the offseason.
Lamar Jackson will not be going anywhere near Miami if that's what he does.
He requested a trade again.
All right, so according to the weather app, on Saturday for this game, it's supposed to start snowing at 6 a.m. in the morning and have about 6 hours of snow. The wind will pick up to 15 mile an hour steady plus gusts. Up to 30 some odd, 9% chance of precipitation. It's going to be 31 degrees, but feels like 9 degrees. That's what I got on the Weather Channel.
Primetime game, so it's only going to get colder. That game might end with a feels like of -6.
Yeah, that game's going to get cold. That game's going to get cold. I don't have any openings, Margaret.
What about the Monday night game? What's the weather on that?
I can't go that far unless I pay. But I can tell you what it's supposed to. Hold on, let me tell you what it's supposed to look like on
The Steelers Texans played Monday night.
right.
Yeah,
let me see.
That's right.
It's in
It's
Pittsburgh.
like 33-degree weather or something.
Thank you, Matt, for all the gifts. I appreciate it.
Thank you guys for the gifts, man. I appreciate that as well. All right, here we go. That's Texas, not Pittsburgh.
Apparently, by being in your live, I've made like $1.50. I don't even know how.
People are sending you gifts.
That's cool.
You keep making ridiculous takes, and it makes people like it.
Bryce, I don't understand how they're not sending you anything because you're a Jags fan, bro.
Yesterday. We heard your takes yesterday. Thank you, Dad.
All right, here we go. So Monday for Pittsburgh. The game is at 7
I think that's going to
p.m.
be a close
All right,
one.
it says it's going to be. Wait, what is this? That's Sunday. Won't let me go to Monday. But it looks like it's going to be cold. Let me see
Why you got the
daily.
Texans beating the Steelers?
That defense.
Because
Just off of that.
Defense wins
You have to
championships.
score.
Rodgers is going to have a hell of a time trying to throw the ball.
for the
I mean, Rodgers is a better quarterback than C.J. Stroud, is he not?
All right, so it's going to be around 30 degrees.
everybody looking past the Steelers for some reason. I don't know why. All I keep hearing is the Houston defense, but
I mean, forget about the weapons. Which quarterback can throw that ball in the middle of the field?
They both can. What?
You think
Okay,
C.J. Stroud
let's
is the best
look at
player
this
out there?
game. Why do I have the Texans over the Steelers? Number one, you're going up against the number one defense. Number two, Aaron Rodgers isn't as mobile as he used to be, and it showed on that game against Baltimore. Will Anderson Jr. is going to have a field day. Now, yes, do I worry about the Texans' offense? 100%. But their rookie running back is running pretty good. He's running pretty good. C.J. Stroud has to go into this game knowing that he does not have to win this game. He just can't lose it. It's a big difference. You got a good tight end. You got a good running back in Tennessee now, or Houston. But yes, Houston is a dome team. You're going to be playing outside in cold weather. On top of that, DK Metcalf is coming back, but you still do not have that good tight end. What is his name?
Darnell Washington.
Darnell Washington.
Darnell Washington.
And when you looked at that game with Pittsburgh against Baltimore, they had a lot of bad blown coverages on defense. A lot. Now, do they get that fixed? We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be a good game, but I think that the Texans have a better defense than the Steelers
I
do.
don't know. I just know that the Steelers are undefeated in Monday night games.
Yeah, but we also know that the Steelers have gone, one and done in the playoffs how many times in a row?
I mean, yeah, that's true, but if they go over the bump, what are they going to say now?
If they go over the bump, congratulations, you have to play Denver in Mile High.
Okay.
Well, no. They would have to play Denver Mile High. Only if the Jaguars and the Patriots won.
Yeah.
The Jags and the Patriots would have to win for whoever wins the Steeler game would go to Denver.
I just think the experience of Aaron Rodgers is going to get them through this game. I really do.
There's not much of
Well, then also,
There's not much.
who do you trust more, Fairbairn or Boswell?
right now. Fairbairn.
They're both really good kickers,
Yeah,
but
Boswell's shit.
Yeah, but one's a dome kicker.
Yeah, Boswell kick outdoors.
yeah. I'm taking Boswell. I'm taking Boswell over him.
Are we forgetting that these players are playing outside for over 50% of the time anyway? Why are we acting like this dome thing is a huge deal?
Because it is. Because it is. No, it 100% is. Being a dome team. All right, let's what division is the Texans in?
South.
The South. Who is in the South? Indianapolis. They're in a dome. Tennessee.
Jags.
Don't really get too bad that cold there like it does up north in the east. And then the Jacksonville Jaguars. Where, by the way, this weekend it's going to be a balmy 64 degrees in Jacksonville.
But how many times have these players played outside? That's what I'm saying. It's like it's not a huge factor.
It 100% is a factor. It's been proven throughout the history of football.
Hey, he said that they play 50% of their games outside, but if the Texans play the Colts 2 times a year and they got their 8 home games, they're only playing 4 division games on the road, and if they play any other dome teams, that's more than 50%.
It has been proven, my brother. It's been proven that dome teams have a hard time playing in colder weather in the playoffs. Because you got to remember, my brother, you got to remember this. The playoffs start in January. The season starts in September. So if you're playing outside in September and October, in certain places it's still 100 degrees. But then we roll into January. And that nice cold weather from Canada likes to come on down and have its fun. And when it comes on down, it likes to sit right up there on that northeast part of the United States of America where a lot of these teams play. And they ain't in domes.
Now, Armchair, I want to ask you a question. So, CJ Stroud's played in 4 playoff games in his career over the last 3 years. Where have those 4 games been played?
Outside.
Houston,
Kansas City. What was it? Houston, Kansas City, and I can't remember where the 4th one was.
I think it was Houston as well.
Was it Houston as well?
In the division all those times.
Yeah, I think they only played in Houston twice. But what I'm getting at is we would have to look at box scores to see if they really struggled outdoors in the cold. Like,
I don't even know. Let me see if I can check.
Really
Oh man, I don't even know if I can.
The Eagles in the cold.
Let me look at
Hey,
this.
can we overlook? We're overlooking something here now. Probably by 2040, 2050, every team's going to be in the dome or a truckable roof.
Oh, I'm gonna say 2030. Because you got the Bears going to a dome. You've got the Browns going to a dome. You got the Chiefs going to a dome. You got the Broncos going to a dome. The Panthers want to cover their field. The Jaguars want to cover their field. Everybody is going to domes or covers because they want to host a Super Bowl, because they want to host the national championship game, because they want to host concerts, because they want to host WrestleMania, all of that. They're all doing that so that these $3.1 billion stadiums are being used more than just games.
Hey, it's about revenue. They can make more money with a dome on their stadium than they can without.
Taylor, you're absolutely right. The Bill Stadium is open, but they wanted it to be a dome. The owners of the Buffalo Bills wanted that new stadium to be a dome, and the city of Buffalo, the state of New York said, you make it a dome, we're not giving you the funding. So they made a compromise and covered 40% of it. It's not a complete open stadium. Let's make that perfectly clear.
Yeah, the crowd is covered.
It is not a complete covered stadium. So, yes, by the way, when CJ Stroud goes on the road in the playoffs, he loses.
But do they struggle? That's my thing.
He struggled last year in Kansas City.
I mean, as long as he doesn't give Nico Collins all the pressure, I think they'll be okay. But I still got the Steelers beating them.
Matt, Football Talk, I agree with you, brother. It's just been a proven fact, man. And look at Miami. Look what happens when Miami has to travel to the north in cold weather, especially in the playoffs. That one time they went to Kansas City and Eddie Reed's beard freaking froze, which I love, by the way. I thought that was so cool. They got their butts spanked. It is proven that dome teams do not do good in cold weather in the playoffs. Because the weather, okay, so the weather in November and December is a lot different than the weather in January and February. It's colder. And being in a dome in an environmentally, okay, let's take it this way. Is it harder playing in Houston or in Mile High?
Mile High.
Why?
Because of the air. The air.
The air and the elevation. So when you look at these games that are played up north, is it harder to play in Jacksonville, where it's going to be 60 some odd degrees, or in Chicago, where it's going to be 33 degrees and feels like 9?
I mean, it's obviously going to be harder to play in the cold, but a lot of these players have played. I mean, a lot of Iowa, Ohio, a lot of these players have come from playing in the cold, and I get it. I understand. It's a dome stadium, it's a dome team, I get it. But it's not like these guys have not played in the cold before.
I got it, brother. I'm just saying, it is a proven statistic that dome teams do not travel well in the playoffs.
That's true.
They just don't. I'm not saying that the Texans can't win this game. I have them winning this game because of their defense. When it gets cold, you have to have a run game. When it gets cold, you have to have a good defense.
What are you munching on, Bryce?
Bryce, man, will you stop munching on your cookies or something, dog? Come on, man.
I'm opening up a plastic wrapper to get a garbage disposal ranch out of it.
Yes,
I
sir.
think this guy gonna come down too. I think the Denver Broncos are going to
Have
the
you seen how
AFC
skinny
Championship.
Hold on, Jaeger. I can't hear you guys. Hold up. Jaeger's trying to say something.
Do you think your team's going to the AFC Championship or at least the Super Bowl?
Well, I would actually put it reverse. Do I think the Broncos could go to the Super Bowl or at least the AFC Championship game? At the beginning of the year, I had the Denver Broncos bounced out in the divisional round, but I did not have them as the number 1 seed, and I did not have them winning the AFC West. I had the Chargers winning the West and the number 1 seed. That's who I had at the beginning of the year because I just, with that Chargers team, if they stayed healthy, they were going to be tough.
Good afternoon.
What's up, Miss Margaret? So,
Hi.
I still have it that if the Broncos pass the divisional round, they're playing with house money. Now, can we make it to a Super Bowl with that defense? Yes, we can. But we cannot commit turnovers. We have to have a better run game than what we've had in the last month. And the main number one thing, even above turnovers, The number one thing the Broncos cannot do is have 4+ drop passes in these games. Not incompletions. No. Drop passes. That is a completely different stat over an incompletion. A drop pass is lost yards. The Broncos cannot have 4 or more.
Agreed.
The amount of drop touchdowns we've had this year, oh my lord.
The amount of drop passes that Bo Nix, and not even Bo Nix. This is the same thing for the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? Because the Jags lead the NFL in drop passes, just barely over the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos and the Jacksonville Jaguars are in the 40s, over 40. Over 40 drop passes through 2025. The number 3 team, all right, remember that. The number 1 and the number 2 team with the most drop passes are the Denver Broncos and the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are both over 40 drop passes. The number 3 team is the Kansas City Chiefs with 24. 24 drop passes through the 2025 NFL season.
So do you think these drop passes will most likely say that y'all are not good?
Rayvon.
What's that, Jaeger?
These drop passes are basically saying about your team that you're most likely to lose in the playoffs if y'all drop passes.
Yes, the Jaguars and the Broncos cannot have more than 4 drop passes. Because when you have 4 drop passes in a game, that equals to about 80 yards of offense. When you do the weird stats and stuff like that, it averages out about to 80 yards. And when you look at that 80 yards, well, if you get the ball at the 35, that's a touchdown. How many first downs are you losing? How much more do you got to put your defense out on that field? Because you're not getting a first down. You're not scoring points.
Oh, by the way, my friend is a Chargers fan, and he said to me this morning, we're losing.
What's that, Miss Margaret?
My friend is a Chargers fan, and he's like, oh, this Steelers game is going to be so easy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he hasn't trusted Chargers in a long time. So,
Yeah, they're
Broncos struggled with the drop passes, in my opinion, because of ball pressure and lack of snaps. They're not playing the Steelers.
but also, can I say this to you? Perryman is back, so it doesn't help. You know? Sorry I'm sick, don't mind me.
Who's the Chargers? I only know the joke.
Honey, I'm an Eagles fan, and I wish they choked when they won.
So again, that is, if the Broncos make it to the AFC Championship game, I think it's a win for them this year, even if they don't make it to the Super Bowl, right? The number one thing is you don't want to be the number 1 seed and one and done. You don't want to be the number 1 seed in the AFC and be one and done. Right? Let me try to break it down. You're still carrying $38 million. You're still carrying $38 million in dead cap space from Russell Wilson this year. That really hurt us in free agency with wide receivers and stuff like that, okay? You have a second-year quarterback. You have a rookie running back right now that's your main running back. You have a 3-year, 4-year wide receiver. You have a 3-year wide receiver, a 2-year wide receiver, and a rookie wide receiver. Your defense is playing very, very well.
Agreed.
But you're still carrying $38 million of dead cap space. You have the number 1 seed. You make it to the AFC Championship game, you could count that as a win for the season. You make it to the Super Bowl. If you make it to the Super Bowl and even lose the Super Bowl, it's still a win because you made it to the Super Bowl carrying the most dead cap space of one player in NFL history.
But I agree, but also Can I be honest as an Eagles fan? We're not getting past the first round. I'm being honest here. Lane Johnson is hurt. Our coach sucks. And our OC sucks. Am I wrong?
I don't know. The deal when it comes to the Eagles is their offensive coordinator, Miss Margaret. It's more that if he could call a good game this week against the 49ers and control that ball, he's got to control the ball.
I'll be fucking surprised that Kevin does shit, you know? I'll be very surprised.
So that's the way you got to look at it. When you look at these games, when you look at these games this weekend, in my opinion, there really isn't a clear-cut winner for every game.
Exactly.
There just isn't.
Nope.
When you look at these games, I mean, you have the Panthers versus the Rams. Everybody thinks the Rams are going to, go in there and mollywop them, right? They're favored by 10.5, but the Rams lost to the Panthers earlier this year. The Packers beat the Bears, then lost to the Bears because of a botched onside kick recovery. The Bills have done good, but they lost to the Miami Dolphins. The Jaguars have done good, but they've had some bad losses. The 49ers are a walking mash unit, but are still playing good football. The Eagles are doing good, but they played in a weak division that they knew they were going to win, even though their offense isn't carrying them. You got the Chargers, who are another walking mash unit that are in the playoffs against the second-year quarterback, who everybody says didn't play anybody this year. And then you've got the Houston Texans, who have the number one defense, going up against a 42-year-old quarterback that wants to win one more for the Gipper before he retires.
And also, my friend is a Steelers fan, and do you know what he's saying? They're going to win that easy. But I don't know.
Oh, it's supposed to be close to 70 degrees during that game tomorrow afternoon.
I wish we had that weather in Philly right now. Oh, God. I would love it right now.
I wish it was colder where I lived. I live in East Texas, and it's like 60-some odd degrees. I wish it was like 30. I love cold weather.
Can I just say, excuse me for my accent, I'm British. So
You're absolutely perfect, brother. Go right ahead.
Hey, hello,
What's up, Matt? What you got?
I want to know. More, less focused on the NFL playoffs, but I'm looking forward tonight to Indiana against Oregon.
Okay.
Agreed. Yo, Hoosiers.
I want to know what your guys' opinions are on Dante Moore, because I am very mixed feelings, because I think he has a top 5 talent in my opinion, but I think he should stay in college for another year just to work on the forcing of the movement, the cross-body passes, and everything like that.
Well, when it comes to that, I would have to look in to see if he's eligible to stay one more year at Oregon. I don't know. I don't know if he was a redshirt freshman or if his eligibility was used up. But I'm looking at this game, and Oregon does have a high-power offense, right? And I want Oregon to win. The only reason why I want Oregon to win because I think Oregon versus Miami would make a great national championship game. I really do. I really think it would make a great national championship game down there in Miami. And I just, the Hoosiers really didn't play anybody. And the teams that they did play, yeah, they were undefeated. But they barely beat Ohio State, but Ohio State lost in the playoffs. Yeah, you beat the snot out of my Alabama team, which I knew was going to happen. Alabama should have never been in the playoffs, in my personal opinion. And I've been very vocal about that.
Most I agree with you.
But I really would love to see Oregon win. I really would.
Hey, last thing that Indiana beat Oregon earlier in the year by 10 points.
I would love to see it, man.
I've got Indiana winning.
I think everybody's got Indiana winning, but
I have Oregon winning the game.
I would love to see Oregon win. I really would. I think it would be great.
I'm Indiana winning.
In my opinion, a Miami-Oregon national championship would be better.
Ooh, it would be so nice.
So,
But also, can I say this? As an Indiana fan, Alabama should have never been in the playoffs at all.
no, Bama should not have been in the playoffs, and I had said that. When the committee put Alabama in the playoffs, that Alabama should have never been in the playoffs. No, there are no more. No. The last playoff game for college is tonight. There are none on Saturday. Drip.
Nope, it's tonight and then the Natty.
I have a cold recover. That's why I sound annoying.
The Natty is until the 19th, so it's 2 weeks from. Yeah.
I have a bloody cold, so don't mind me.
So, no, I said it, and you guys that were here, well, when we went over the people that they picked or the teams that they picked, I said Alabama shouldn't have been in it. A 3-loss team should not have been in the CFP. It shouldn't have happened. You could have put Texas, who had 2 losses. You could have put in Notre Dame. You could have put in anybody else. But Alabama with 3 losses should not have been in.
Arch Manning in the playoffs would have been fun to watch.
It would have been. It really would have been.
It would have been runs galore, you know that.
At least I get to watch it next year. Go Longhorns.
Well, yeah, because everybody knew he was coming back a year.
Hey, I'm a Notre Dame fan. It would have been so funny.
He would have balled out.
Hey, I'm a Notre Dame fan. I know how
I need
it
to
feels.
pick a college team.
Yay.
Aren't they going to 16 teams next year?
Oh my god.
Hold on, I need to pull this up because I need to see when they played. Let's see when they
It's
played.
so warm over here.
So they played Oregon week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They played them week 6 and won 30-20. That's not a blowout. That's a close game.
Hey, so Indiana beat Oregon by 10. They sacked Dante Moore 7 times in that game, and they pressured him 58% of the time. So,
But that was with their star linebacker, isn't he out?
I'm just saying, like, if Indiana follows that same game plan, I'm sure Oregon is watching the film. Oregon's going to realize where they made mistakes. All this kind of stuff. It's going to be a much better game this time. So, game go either way, but I think Oregon pulls it out.
I think it'll be interesting to watch both offensive lines. Because I think they're both very eligible of giving up easy sacks.
So, sure, we talked about
Ireland?
Lavin?
Is that where you said you were from?
From England.
Matt? England. Oh, so you're a Jaguars fan. Alright. I like you.
I am not a Jaguars fan. I'd rather not watch NFL again.
I promise you, Bryce, the Jacksonville Jaguars are not known outside of Duval County. I promise.
What do you mean? We have the biggest fan base across the seas.
No, you don't.
No, I don't think that's true, brother.
If you go out on the streets of Britain and say Duval, you're getting slapped.
Wow.
Because no one knows what it means. No one knows what it means.
Hey, so more about that Oregon Indiana game?
Do some research. It's just the county they're from. It's all
Hey, so about the Oregon-Indiana game, Oregon is without their number one wide receiver also. What's his name? Evan Stewart? Is that his name?
I think so. I don't know.
But they've been without him all year, so I'm just saying, like, he's clearly the best playmaker on that team. And he's got another year of eligibility left because he got a medical redshirt this year.
I don't know. Even if Indiana makes it to the Natty, that's a tough Miami defense.
Yeah. And running back on that team is pretty nasty.
What I will say though is watching last night,
Both of
that
them are
Miami
nasty.
secondary looked very, very wasted. They looked hurt and very stretched past, I would say, the 11th minute in the fourth quarter. They just looked a bit shaky.
Hey, I have a question, and I already have an answer for the thing. But I watched that last play, and I know I didn't know that refs look the other way on like OBI, like PIs and stuff. Because that dude got thrown to the freaking ground, bro.
Again, on a Hail Mary.
He didn't get thrown to the ground, man. He didn't get thrown to the ground.
It's not a PI. They both go at each other.
That
You got to call
receiver
it for.
pulled him to the ground.
Yeah.
It happens in high school, college, and pro. It's like an unwritten rule that does not get thrown on a Hail Mary because again, a Hail Mary you really don't have a true intended target. Okay, you got to think about that. The ball really, in theory, the ball is a free ball because there is no true target on a Hail Mary. Now, on a pass play, if you throw it, out to your Y, your X, or your Z, we know that that's where the ball is going. That's your true target. But on a Hail Mary, when you've got 4 or 5 receivers in that end zone, who is your true target?
Yeah.
Is it really a Hail Mary for the 30-yard line?
Yes, it is. If you have it set up that way, it is.
It was schemed as 4 verts, so I would take it as a Hail Mary.
Hey, Chop Boy, I got a spot open right now, brother.
So, I want to bring something up real quick before I forget my train of thought. So, Armchair, you said that if we have 4 more drops, we more than likely lose our first playoff game, potentially.
Right.
Right. So, what if I say that doesn't determine the game? Sean Payton determines that game. Not a scheming.
Agreed.
But we have had 12 drive-killing, needing to take field goals because of it or punting the ball situations where we have had to kill timeouts, and it just completely stunts the game, and we lose all sort of momentum we had, and we can no longer run the hurry-up offense. That has happened 12 times this year, and that leads the league, and we obviously see that Bo is frustrated with that. He's telling Sean Payton to hurry up, let's go. If Sean Payton does that in a playoff game, we are losing.
I've been very critical of Sean Payton all year. You guys know that. Like you were saying, not getting the play in there in time in the headset and the length of the play, right? So there's 2 factors to that. Getting the play in with the right amount of or in a speedy time, right? Or the length of play. Hold on. Is there anyone that can outrage the head coach on call during a game? Okay, so can anybody are you talking about mamas? Can anybody change the play of a head coach? Peyton Manning used to do it. Outrule that. No. If the head coach is the play caller, there is no other head coach that can overrule the head coach play calling. But with certain quarterbacks like Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, they would get the play call, go up to the line and be like, yeah, if this ain't gonna work, I'm calling my own play. Or they would know the situation and go, yeah, this ain't good. I'm calling a different play. But we're talking about Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. Now, when a quarterback, and like Bo Nix's, for instance, goes up to the line, He gets 2 play calls. He gets a play call and an audible. But the problem I've been having with Sean Payton, and it's the same problem Bo Nix has been having, he's only getting up to the line of scrimmage with about 7 seconds to snap that ball. That does not give you enough time as a quarterback to diagnose the defense, coverage, blitz packages, shifts, and stuff like that. And so I've been very critical of Sean Payton all year on that, and the whole, well, I need to get better as a play caller. You know, he's said that practically every press conference this year, and he hasn't done it. Now, I do like Sean Payton, don't get me wrong. I also know that Sean Payton is one of the most stubborn head coaches in the NFL because he comes from Bill Parcells' tree. Now, yes, I'm not saying we need to be in a hurry up, 2-minute drill all game. But what I like to see is more in a 4-minute drill. That would be nice. That would be nice. Get that play in there a little bit faster. Give Bo Nix, about 17 seconds at that line of scrimmage to diagnose the defense and coverage that he's going up against. And doing that actually helps your running back. Right? If your quarterback gets up there and he can diagnose the defense on where the linebackers are going to go, he can point behind him, tell the running back, hey, go that way or go that way, because they could be coming with a blitz in the A gap on the right side where he's supposed to be running, and that leaves it open on the left side A gap. Like, hey, go that way. Not this way, that way. But he doesn't have time. And that's why you see Bo Nix always going like this, because he's getting pissed about how long it takes to get that play call in. And that is something I've been critical of Sean Payton all year long. So, and we also got to remember, Bo Nix is a year 2 quarterback.
But just to add to that, that's why Bo Nix gets so frustrated with Sean Payton, because he's used to that at Oregon, because the head coach he has there, Dan Lanning, does the same thing. He calls the plays, gets to the line of scrimmage really quickly, lets his quarterbacks diagnose, and that's what frustrates Bo Nix is he's used to the pace of the college game, and it seems like Sean Payton is slowing the game down for him.
Right, and that in my opinion is the wrong move. That's like what we were talking about earlier with RG3, where some of these old stubborn head coaches hurt their players because they don't do what helps their player, right? I'm not, okay, if I'm with the Denver Broncos, if I'm in Sean Payton's shoes, when I drafted Bo Nix, I'm watching every single game film I can get on the kid. And I'm seeing what he does good, what he needs improvement on, and what helps him. I'm not drafting Bo Nix and go, hey, good kid, great. Now you're doing it my style. No, I'm going to morph my coaching to help my star quarterback.
Yeah.
I have to change as a head coach. And that is a problem I've had in the NFL for years, and I have been very vocal about it. The NFL is ran by a bunch of old guys that are stubborn as hell. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs. Have the Kansas City Chiefs, after their last Super Bowl win, done anything to improve that team? No. Yeah, you made it to the Super Bowl last year, but you got your butts banged. And then this year, they're set in their ways. They're stubborn. Andy Reid's play calling is getting, monotonous. It's very easy to diagnose. So is Spag's defense. Everybody's like, oh, wow, we know he's going to run a blitz here. So, boom, out to the outside, gone. You have to evolve. As I say with players, just because you made it to the league don't mean shit. You still got to perfect your craft. You still got to perfect and get better at what you do. It's the same thing as a head coach. Same thing as a head coach.
I think the one thing
That's what I like about
wearing a wristband don't mean shit in the NFL. It doesn't. Because, okay, let's take your philosophy here, Chop Boy. All right, I'm going to take your philosophy. It still takes a minute for Sean Payton to call in the play. You only got 40 seconds. And we're going to go with like a numerical order. Say Sean Payton says in his headset, because again, Sean Payton is the play caller. I want you to call 22. Well, I just killed time because I had to think of what number I wanted you to tell. So then as a quarterback, you're gonna go 22. ZXY 32, Sisters V, Romeo Da, blah 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 on 2. Right? Sean Payton has one of the longest play calls in the NFL. You're freaking saying, 5 Hail Marys and 3 Our Fathers and all that to get a damn play call. And then you got to get to the line. Oh, and then you get a little buzz in your ear. Oh, yeah, by the way, you're audible 44. Well, now Bo Nix has got to get up to that line. 7 seconds left. Kick, 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 kick. He doesn't have time to diagnose the defense. He doesn't have time. Look at quarterbacks who do not have time to diagnose the defense. They don't audible out of the play because they can't.
Hey, so here's a counterpoint. Here's a counterpoint. Sorry, Bryce, I didn't mean to cut you off, man. But this is a counterpoint to that, though. Like, everyone talks about this and, scheming and fitting and all that. I just want to let you know that Bo Nix fits Sean Payton's offense perfectly because the way he played in college fits the pro style that Sean Payton ran with Drew Brees in New Orleans, and it works for both of them.
It does. It's just you got to get that timing up. And like I said, I'm not saying you need to go out and run a 2-minute offense. You absolutely don't need to do that. But a 4-minute offense would be great. Because you get to the line with 17 seconds. 17 seconds is a lot better than 5 to 7 seconds.
I think one thing that I feel quite bad for with Bo this year, because I think I noticed it a lot last year, but this year has been quite rare. The amount of times he is struggling to extend plays with his legs because the defense automatically reads the motion due to the play call being consistent. It'll be a screen pass, a run. Oh wait, we got a first down. I know, let's put Mims into motion, have 2 backs, and then screen out to either Harvey, Dobbins, or Mims. It hasn't been, okay, we throw a screen pass, right, we've lost a yard. Let's put a medium range on it. It's the same consistent failings I think this year a lot of analysts have picked up on. I think that's why they're not rating us as highly.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, if I broke it down in my head the right way, so we get 25 seconds, right? 13 of those seconds are being used, getting the play call out from Sean to Bo, and from Bo to the whole team. When you get to the line, you get everybody set, that's an extra 5 seconds. By that time, you have at minimum 6 seconds to be able to call any sort of audible, have any sort of motion for anything. I'll tell you right now, if Trevor Lawrence, if Drake May, if Dak Prescott had any of those problems, none of these quarterbacks would be winning games at all.
They did. He did have that problem.
Well, that's what I've been trying to say. He's not giving him enough time.
Hey, so here's another counter, to that, right? We all know Sean Payton is an offensive, whatever you want to call him, genius, guru, whatever you want to call him, right? So what if he's doing that, and I know it frustrates Bo because he's used to the pace, but what if he's doing that so Bo Nix gets the line and Bo Nix doesn't have to think a lot? Because when you start overthinking sometimes, you make mistakes. So he said, okay, I'm going to create less mistakes with the play calling and this, so Bo doesn't have to think so much at the line to make that bigger mistake.
Yeah, but if you don't give your quarterback time to diagnose the defense, it throws the play off.
And not only that, but, I mean, if you look at it, there's one specific play that I can remember. It was a slot fade to Troy Franklin in the Chiefs game to get us into a field goal position. And we got to the line with 11 seconds. It's not much more, but it's significant in terms of being able to read the defense.
We got there at 11 seconds. Everybody was set. Bo was able to read the defense, and he wasted the ball to Troy Franklin. And at the press conference, Chris Jones even said himself, that last play, Bo Nix read our defense perfectly. It's not even, you don't even need to give him much more time, but just like 13 seconds.
Because you got to remember, you have a 40-second clock, right? A 40-second clock that starts as soon as that ball is set, right? As soon as the ball is put down for ready to play, that's when the game clock start or the play clock starts. When they set the ball on the ground for wherever you're at, your play clock starts then. So you got 40 seconds to get the play in, have your quarterback give it to the team, get the team set, and then diagnose the defense, possibly check out, possibly audible, and then snap the ball. When your freaking play call is longer than a McDonald's menu for one play, it's kind of hard to do it.
That's a great example.
Alright, so I understand what Chop Boy saying though. So Trevor Lawrence and I know I can
Hold on. Chop Boy, how long was Drew Brees in the NFL when he went to play for Sean Payton compared to Bo Nix? And on top of that, just to throw a little caveat in here, the second year that Drew Brees was with Sean Payton in New Orleans was the worst statistical year that Drew Brees ever had in his NFL career. It was.
Hey, but also we're also think. I think he just brought that thing up with Bo Nix and Troy Franklin, right? But you guys forget that Bo Nix and Troy Franklin played together at college, so they know each other's hand signals. They know how to read each other very well, and that is a strong point for our offense.
Absolutely.
So Franklin proves that he can't hold on to the ball. That's why he doesn't get the ball that often.
Again, the drops, in my opinion, are the bigger factor. The drops are a big factor in this game. Also, running the ball. It would be awesome if J.K. Dobbins could be back. Right? Well, I'll be shocked if he is. Everybody's saying the AFC Championship game. I'm like, well, we got to get there first. But there are factors into this game. Again, it's going to be Denver. It's going to be cold, finally. That stadium is going to be a problem for the opposing team. Not only because of the cold weather. This is what I was talking about, compared to domes to outside. It's going to be outside. It's going to be cold. It's going to be loud. I think they set the loudest decibel range during last week's Chargers game was 122.8 decibels. And that's not even for a playoff game.
And we haven't gotten a home playoff game in 11 years. You know that stadium's going to be loud.
I hope he does, Shavargas.
Was the armchair? What do you think the Bears need to do if they want to win this game today?
Tomorrow, you mean? No turnovers. No turnovers. Plain, simple, cut, and dry. Do not commit any turnovers. Force them to, because your team leads the NFL in takeaways. You got to force turnovers, and you cannot have any. You do not want to give Jordan Love any more time than he's already going to have.
That beats my answer. I was going to say just call it Love.
Armchair, I have a question about these dome stadiums being built.
Yes, sir.
So here in Houston, we have a retractable roof. That way, when it gets real hot, you close it, rain, whatever, then comfortable weather, you can open it. Is that something that the northern teams can do and still use it to their advantage when it's snowing?
Okay, so the Broncos Stadium is going to be a retractable roof. It's not going to be a set dome. A lot of owners don't like going to domes because it costs more money to keep the uptake on them. Another thing, the Houston Texans are about to get a new stadium. That stadium is going to get torn down because the dome on it is actually technology that was used on baseball fields, not football stadiums because again that was NRG Stadium was the first NFL field with a retractable roof, but it would actually cost more to keep the upkeep on that retractable roof because of how old the technology is than build a new one. So the Texans are building a new one, but up northern like Chicago and them, they're not going to do it. They will not go because you don't want to have that extra weight and that those extra gears up there for a retractable roof in like Chicago or Cleveland because of the weight of the snow. So, but yeah, the Broncos Stadium is supposed to be a retractable roof.
We still haven't even torn down the Astrodome, and it's sitting right next to it.
Well, that's what they're supposed to do. Is they're supposed to be tearing down the Astrodome to build the new stadium, and then once it's done, NRG Stadium will be destroyed. That is what I've read coming out of Houston because I have a friend who lives down in Houston who's a huge Houston Texans fan.
Why are we wasting our taxpayer dollars building them a new stadium? Yuck.
Because these owners are very stingy. I mean, the Broncos will be completely privately funded to build this stadium. And it won't be done till around 2030.
I'm sorry. Oh my God. I'm gonna miss sports.
The stadium and Power Field at Mile High will be torn down because it'll be given back to the city.
Well, no, so I've also heard that I've read a lot of stuff. I mean, since I live here, it's reported all the time that once the stadium is built and open for games in 2030, 2031, it Empower might stay open because that's where they hold the AMA Supercross events at.
Yeah, that too. And soccer, I think. Yes, I remember the Metrodome. The Metrodome in Minnesota when it collapsed because of the snow. I remember. There was so much weight on it that it tore a hole through the roof. So that's why the new Viking Stadium is at a pitch and it has heaters built inside of it. So, a lot of people, again, I'm one of them, really don't like dome stadiums. I, as a fan, don't like it. As if I'm in the ownership group's shoes, I understand it. Okay, so that is a great question, Mike. What if a team loses its lease of a stadium? Where can that team play? Anywhere they want. It almost happened this year with the Cincinnati Bengals. If you do not renew the lease on the stadium that you're in, you can play wherever you want. Anywhere.
They could do what the Raiders did, and they could play in a combined stadium. Cincinnati doesn't have a baseball team either. So I was going to say they could just do what the Raiders did and play with the Athletics.
Yeah, because you got to remember, the Bengals this year had talked about moving to San Antonio. And the Chiefs, nobody wants to talk about it, but I will. The Chiefs had talked about moving back to Texas on the outside of Dallas. Because you got to remember, that's where the Chiefs were invented. They were the Dallas Texans.
Cincinnati absolutely has a baseball team. They had the Cincinnati Reds.
So it's like what the Bills did. The Bills threatened to move to San Antonio if Buffalo did not build them a new stadium. And so that's where the compromise came in versus the dome to 40% coverage. And on top of that, they got the money. They got the federal funding to build it over all complete private funding. And so when your lease is up, you can play wherever you want because you're no longer tied to that team. It's like, okay, the Chiefs will be starting building their stadium in Kansas, but they can't play in it till 2031 because their lease on Arrowhead is up in 2030, at the end of 2030. Same thing with the Broncos. They can start the new stadium. They can start the project around it, everything. But the team can't physically play there until 2031 because their lease on Empower Field is not up until the end of 2030.
So what about the Jaguars?
So the Jaguars, the only reason why they are going to be playing in another city is because of the renovations that they're doing to the stadium. It would be too dangerous to play in and have fans in.
And it's cheaper for flights to London as well.
Construction on it.
I think they're supposed to start next year or the year after that.
Yeah, they already have like the gates up and everything around it.
Yeah, I think it's this year after the season's over with. And so because of what they're doing to the stadium and the renovations that they're doing to it, it would be too dangerous to have games in the stadium and fans while they're doing this.
Right.
So they're just going to move the team. It's kind of like what happened to the Saints when Hurricane Katrina wiped out the Superdome. The Buccaneers are even talking about renovating Raymond James Stadium. Now, they don't know if it's going to be too dangerous to play in there while they do that. But, guys, I've been at this for 2 hours. I am going to call it a day. My throat is starting to hurt. My neck is hurting. I need to go take medicine. Guys, thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with me. If you are new here and you like this content and like the group we have, please hit that follow button. It's free. I never ask for gifts. I will never ask for gifts. I just ask that you please hit that follow button. I love you too, mamas. Guys, thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with me. Hope you have a great rest of your Friday. Hope you enjoy this weekend of football matchups. Please be safe. Please have fun wherever you're at. And just remember, if it wasn't for you guys, this channel wouldn't be going anywhere. It wouldn't be growing. So I love you. My family loves you. And I'll catch y'all later. Peace.
Have a good one. Have a good one.
Have a good one.